What's up? Today is going to be a little different than normal. We're not going to be doing much in the game of Horsey game itself. Instead, we will be living in the world of the internet. This is a guide on how to edit your Horsey game map, because we're going to be making a map for Horsey locks. This link and many others will be commented. It'll probably be the pinned comment. I'll have a link to this guide itself. I'll have a link to the map editor, and I'll have a link to the Google Drive with the folders that this person says you need, which is not that much. I've already done all this, so I'm going to kind of gloss over it. If you really want to do it yourself, this guide is very simple to follow. All you have to do is go to this website, this map editor website, and download tiled, which is super easy. Next, all you have to do is go here to this Google Drive and download Lokes, Terrain Editing, and Terrain from Wonderful Jumbo. Wonderful Jumbo. And then all you have to do is open up Steam, go to your library. Where is Horsey Game? Where is Horsey Game? There's Horsey Game. You go to Manage. You go to, where is it? Browse Local Files, which pulls up this. You go into data, and you need, I believe, you need the horsey.tmx, which it even has a little tiled logo now for me. You need Lokes, I believe. You need sprites.png and terrain. And then the last thing you need to mess with is the population XML, which is literally just all of the different populations. Like if you scroll down, this is all pretty straightforward. Like this one's name is Scratch. I don't actually remember what Scratch is, but I know Fest Horse is one type of horse. Crazy Horse is the other type of horse, just to have some variety, I believe. Impala, straightforward, right? You have Alligator, straightforward. You can mess with them here. What I have already done is I went to teeth shape and I changed to teeth shape so that these things are not omnivores anymore and they will just interact and breed with each other. For my purposes, I needed this. And that's all you really need. I forgot to do crocodile. I'm glad I saw that. We have basic editing to do. I will show you what that means. Now, it was said in that guide to have backups of your Horsey file and your population file. I didn't do that. I'm not that worried about it. As you can see, I made a mistake early on, which you saw in my last video if you were paying attention. I deleted all the water by mistake, but what I'm really going to be working on here are two things. I'm going to be working on the locations and the tiles. If you saw my last live stream on here, you'll know that I had made a map already and got really sad. So we're actually just going to Control A and we're going to edit, delete, and then locations. We're not going to delete all of the locations, but we are going to select a bunch of them, move them all over here so that we have a little bit less space to work with. And then I'm going to go to world, hold on, map properties, I believe. And we're going to resize the map to be smaller to what we need. We're going to go, honestly, let's just do a square. Honestly, let's just make it 200 by 200. That's so much easier. There we go. 200 by 200. And now, if you want to edit stuff, all you have to do is click between tiles up here in your layers and locations. And you can select locations. We're in layers. We're in terrain right now. You go over to locations, you select a location, and you can set them down with insert tile. And then you would click, and then you would edit it. Let me show you how you edit it. So we're going to zoom in. Not there. Seriously? We're going to zoom in. We're going to look at... This is the Impala spawn zone. And you can change the count and the radius. If you're making a new custom spawn, then you actually have to make your own. So I would put down this little rabbit token and I would call it rabbit. And then I would add custom properties. I would add count and I would add radius. And the radius would be like 10 and the count would be like 20 because I want to spawn 20 rabbits in a radius of 10 blocks. And that's that. And then if you were to select a different one, you would see that they have a different count in radius. Awesome. There we go. So that's how you do that. And all of these other ones like Junk and Sweetie and the track and the paddock. I'll be moving those around quite a bit, but a lot of what you're going to see in this video is going to be me. I don't actually need this. I'm going to remove the buried objects. We don't really need them. They can be random, but we are going to definitely need the zoo and the junk. We're going to need both of those. Maybe not the junk. We do need the zoo for what my plan is, but this is kind of a rehash of what I already did on the live stream. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sit down, and if you go to tiles and you go to stamp or terrain brush, honestly, and then I select like the grass terrain, and then I can just kind of paint like that. And then we have grass, as you could see. And that's how you would do that. And then you could use the fill tool, and you could be like, oh, let's put some water in there. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we got a weird little island thing going. You could put the whole thing as water and then go from there. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to make a bit of a circle island. I'm going to make a bit of a, maybe less of a circle. Maybe it'll be like a little island and then a second like peninsula type thing. Because what I want to do is I want to set up spawns for all of the different creatures that can funnel into the center, so that everything kind of homogenizes as you go. But what you have the option of is you can either catch horses during the Horsey lock, or you can go to the zoo and roll for a random. Actually, that might actually be better. You know what? We're going to make this super streamlined, actually. Yeah. So I'm going to put all the farms on an island up out of the way with a bunch of different spawns. And then I'm going to put you on a super tiny island with Sweetie and your farm and the shop and the zoo and maybe Clyde's rides and the saloon. And then everything else is going on another island, so you can't mess with the farms ever or anything like that. And then we'll go from there. But I'm going to turn this into a time lapse unless I have something very specific to show you guys from here on out. Okay, moment of truth. Did it work? File, save as. This one is in Horsey saves. Okay. File, save. So now I open up the Horsey save files again. And I go in here and I say, first of all, I delete the save in the backup. Then I go to Horsey game and I go to data and I delete horsey.tmx. And then I go to my desktop folder that has all that stuff in it. And I bring it here. Okay, and now we run Horsey game and it should work. It should work, hopefully. And interesting. I just had to go in and hit restart plus, and now we are on the correct map, it seems. Okay, it did actually, it lets you zoom out pretty far. That's hilarious. But hey, we have our island. Let's see if people are in here. There's people in here, yes. Clyde's Rides exists. There's the cave if you want to try to get to it. There's the horses. That's the races. We have our starters. Interesting. Okay, so some of this got a little messed up. I guess it has to do with wherever it's closest to.
How dare you?
Okay. Yeah, some of this needs to be fixed by moving it a little closer together. Like this needs to be moved down one. These need to be, well, this one's fine actually. This one's, not the best. That's okay though. That's okay. We can drive up this. We can. Here's where all the animals are. Oh my. And then they should all be existing up here and homogenizing because none of them are predators. Yes, good. And then here's how we would start. We would go up the road. We would drop off our new friends. We'd say goodbye Norse Horse, goodbye Daisy, goodbye Geraldo. We'd drive on back down and then we'd go to a wheel and we would roll a wheel and it would decide if we're getting something out of here or if we're catching a fish or if we're grabbing, I think we're not including bears, and you don't have to include the yeast, hay, and pepper if you don't want to, but I guess the next thing to do is tell you guys about how this would work. Obviously, if you don't even care about editing stuff, then I could just share this map file with you after I clean it up a little bit with how it looks right now. Gotta fix the roads a bit. I don't know, it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. That's awesome. You can even change the size. Now note that if you change the size and you make it smaller, then whenever you zoom out like this, it's gonna look weird. But we don't even need to zoom out like that because this is all we have right here. We have the farms up here. We have the island down here. This is our little island. This is Horsey Lock Island. Wow, it's bwhatsonn Island, guys. We're on bwhatsonn Island. You all get to come to bwhatsonn. You come visit me on